Hey all you space explorers, pirates, rangers, vanguards, whatever role you embrace in Starfield, hey, thanks for stopping by the channel today. And a huge thank you for all of the massive support on the channel since Starfield launched. There have been just under 500,000 viewers who have checked out the channel since launch of Starfield who had never been here before. So welcome and thank you. Feel free to sub to the channel and see more Starfield and other RPG related content in the future. All right, let's get cranking on today's topic. If you know me, it's no secret that I'm a bit of a Sony fanboy. I've been, creating content on YouTube, Twitch, and other platforms almost exclusively on the PlayStation 4 and 5 consoles for nearly a decade now. There isn't a single Xbox exclusive title that I've streamed or made edited VOD content on in the history of my content creation career. I've always preferred Sony developers and their exclusive titles like the Horizon Zero Dawn series, The Last of Us, God of War, the Spider-Man games, Uncharted. I mean, Xbox for me personally has never come within a country mile of Sony's success in the exclusive title category. And so, when Microsoft acquired Bethesda, which was something, honestly, I never would have anticipated, right? Bethesda just seemed like one of those studios that they didn't need any exclusivity deal funding. Any major title that they release tends to generate serious capital with very few exceptions. But I was not thrilled about the acquisition and had serious doubts regarding the listed benefits to having that relationship between Bethesda and Microsoft. But here I am, now over 160 hours of my time has been spent playing, loving, enjoying Starfield. So is this the beginning of a loyalty shift for me? Do I still have concerns about the Microsoft acquisition? And does Starfield have a promising future? I'm going to tackle each of those questions in order in this video, and I'll make sure to timestamp chapters for you so that if you're just interested in specific topics, and you can just slide to wherever you want to be. Okay, first off, let me just offer a very brief summary of my Starfield experience so far. I have two characters in this game. My primary character is level 86 now, and my secondary character is 27. They are dramatically different, with my main character being a morally good guy with lots of skill points invested in primarily starship-oriented things, and the tech tree in general, maxed out persuasion and commerce skills, and a fair amount of points now in the science tree, as outpost building is sort of the next big thing for me to tackle in my endgame experience on that character. My second character is a morally gray at best character with almost every single skill point so far invested in the physical tree for fun hand-to-hand combat where punches can stun, disarm, knock down opponents, or do, all of those things at the same time while reflecting incoming physical damage too. I've done every faction quest line between 2 to 3 times now. I've been to every system and every explorable planet I have at least stepped foot on once. I've done the whole NG Plus system and rebooted my worlds. There really isn't a lot left in the game that's brand new to me at this point, although I do from time to time find a little surprise. So it's safe to say, I've obviously loved playing the game or I wouldn't have gotten this far. So with that foundation laid, let me circle back to that first question. Will Starfield mark the beginning of a loyalty shift for me from Sony to Microsoft? The answer to that is basically this. While I've always had a natural inclination or natural preference for Sony consoles and games, I've never avoided Microsoft for morality or ethical purposes or motivations. I just had everything I needed between the PS5 and my high-end gaming PC. There was never a need to buy an Xbox, and with Starfield, I didn't go out of my way and buy a new console either. I've had Game Pass for about 4 months now, since many of my friends wanted to try out games on PC that were free with Game Pass. Plus, my son is now getting to that age where he really enjoys gaming, and Game Pass is a great option for him to explore new and old titles and find out what kinds of games he likes most. But basically, I never felt any loyalty per se to Sony. It was just a choice of convenience, right? It ticked more boxes for me than an Xbox did, so that's what I went with. And as of right now, I can't think of a single good reason to buy an Xbox console personally when I have the Xbox app on my PC and Game Pass, so I'll get Xbox games with much better performance right there. Plus, with my PC, a PS5, 4 monitors, and an editing laptop on my desk, I'm pretty much out of room here. Now that second question, do I still have concerns regarding the Microsoft acquisition of Bethesda after Starfield's launch? Now, I would be lying if I said no. In my experience, whenever a very, very rich benefactor shows up and offers you a lot of money, it's because they want to own more pieces on the board than their competition, right? It makes sense. And while Starfield has reached over 10 million gamers, and that's amazing, there are still gamers who purchased a PlayStation 5 under the assumption that Bethesda games would still be available there, and now that's pretty much a fool's hope moving forward. It's business, that's just the way that it goes, but it does kind of suck for gamers who don't have a PC for gaming, just a PlayStation. Now beyond that, I was a diehard Destiny gamer for nearly 10 years, and we saw through various chapters of Destiny's lifespan, we saw firsthand what happens when rich benefactors give you money. They also get to impose their own expectations, and those expectations don't always align with the studio's vision or the fans' hopes for the franchise. I'm of course talking about the whole Activision era of Destiny's past. Now I am grateful though that Sony's acquisition of Bungie didn't lead to Destiny dropping the Xbox platform, and so far there are no plans to make Marathon a PlayStation exclusive title either. So all this to say, yeah, I still have some reservations because Bethesda no longer has total control of their own product, their own vision, and implementation plans. The relationship that used to be strictly two-sided with Bethesda on one end and the fans of their games on the other, hey, it's now opened itself up to another party who has a whole lot of power over the studio, and that makes me at least a little bit worried. And moving on to that third question, does Starfield have a promising future? Now, I know that I just said that I have some reservations about the Microsoft relationship, but that being said, I do think that Starfield does have a promising future. Not only do we have DLC coming early next year, but we also just learned from Phil Spencer that they intend to release new Starfield content fairly regularly on top of DLCs to keep people engaged. And that makes sense, honestly. If Starfield was bought, for the purpose of driving up Game Pass subscriptions, then keeping players subscribed is going to be a huge priority for Microsoft. Otherwise, people will just cancel their subscriptions until the DLC launches, and Microsoft does not want that. So, regardless of my reservations, it seems clear that Microsoft needs Starfield to continue to be good and offer new experiences, and that means good things for the game itself and for us as gamers. Because the more content we get, the better. And there are lots of things they could infuse into Starfield that would be extremely desirable for Starfield players, including things like new outfits, new POIs, new random encounters, new companions, new dialogue options for companions that don't have a lot to say right now, and new modules for outposts and starships. I mean, it's a long list of minor changes that could really help the game have more depth and mileage for players. And so that makes me feel pretty optimistic about the future of Starfield. So here I am, admittedly a bit of a Sony fanboy, but I have not touched my PlayStation 5 since the moment I got my review code for Starfield 2 weeks before early access went live. I haven't felt the need to since Starfield had so much content for me to experience, and I'm certain that I'll be spending even more time in the game in the weeks to come, because I still have some goals that I want to meet, including hitting level 100, which I should do fairly soon, and I'm doing that without exploits and without mods, and I want to start to lean into the ins and outs of outpost building and management. So thanks as always for watching the video. Please feel free to leave a like on it only if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for additional Starfield content. Also, if you could do me a huge favor, I'm trying to gauge interest in a new potential series. My wife has an eye for design. She plays a lot of things like House Flipper and similar games. So I'm thinking I'm going to record her live reactions to seeing my Starfield apartments and homes, and then hand her the keys to my keyboard and let her completely flip my Starfield homes and see how they look when she's done. I suspect that they'll look really, really good when she's finished. She has an eye for space and how to utilize it best. So let me know if that sounds like a fun series or not in the comments section. Hey, be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you among the stars.